This is a Region Sports Desk exclusive.
I want to get away. I want to fly away. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I want to get away.
Region Sports Desk. This is the episode you've all been waiting for. It is our preseason top 10 show. So, Joe, a lot of teams fighting to make that list. Let's find out who did make that list.
All right, we're going to start off at number 10. All right, number 10, JT. Who do you got coming in at 10? What do you think?
Crown Point Bulldogs. A lot of people are going to say Crown Point, they were a 3-7 football team last year. However, they returned a lot of starters, including 9 on the offensive side of the ball. They had a key win against LaPorte last year. This is a team, as you have seen, you were a freshman coach a couple years ago. You said that Crown Point was probably the most impressive team that you had to face, and so a lot of those kids are going to be starting this year.
Very impressive. They had a bunch of little kids that could tackle well, and they had a hell of a guy that could run the football. Not to mention, you know what, it's really tough to go to Crown Point and play down there in that stadium. So I think it's another reason to put them there in that top 10. Let's go to number 9. Who do you got at 9?
9, this is a team that, there's a debate if they're really a region team. I'm going to say they're a region team. Everyone else says they are.
Hey, the Times and the Post, they put them in the region. We'll go ahead and do that
We'll
too.
say that. We'll say they are too. That's the rest of their Bombers. And they are the best small school team in the area. So obviously I'm taking
All right, they got an impressive fullback. He's on the cover of the Indiana Digest. Tell us about him.
Ben Haller. He's a very talented linebacker and fullback. And he's somebody that you might get some Division I offers. They already have their left tackle, Ben Davison. He already committed to Western Michigan. But they have 20 returning starters from last year's team, a team that made it to semi-state. So I mean, this is just a loaded football team. I like where they're at right now. They might move up as the season goes along. They're going to be a very impressive football team. So watch out for the Bombers.
All right, think they're going to go to state?
I wouldn't go there just yet.
Okay.
We'll save that. We'll save that.
All right, let's move down the list. Number 8 on the list, the Valparaiso Vikings.
Valparaiso, they were a 5-5 football team last year. They rode the roller coaster. I mean, they were a team that relied heavily on running the football. They had a very young offensive line, and they had a couple of great skill players.
I believe someone's at our studio ringing the doorbell. Someone wants to come in.
Well, they're going to have to wait because we got the Vikings to talk about here.
All right.
They do have a lot of returning starters, 15 returning starters, especially at offensive defensive lines. But the big question is,
what are they going to do without Perkins and Mr. Nick Thompson?
Who are going to be the skill guys that step in and get the job done?
Nobody. They're not going to do anything on offense. Defense, they're going to be a team to watch out for. Let's go to number 7. This team plays Valpo. It's going to be a good game.
I definitely think it'll be a lot better than the 51-6 thrashing it was last season.
Well, last season they were missing their big workhorse and Mr. Edward Johnson.
Well, he's going to be back this year, and also 11 other returning starters for this Griffith football team. And I'm real high on this team. I think this team...
You're really stoned on this team.
I am stoned on Panther football right now because I'm convinced they're going to make a run.
Well, hey, look what happened at Johnson came. They started off this slow. He comes back. They won, what, 5 of the 7 last games? 5
of the last 7 games they won, including a 7-6 nail-biter over Munster. Griffith is a team that I think could surprise some people. They might even surprise more in week 1, but we'll get to that later.
Let's go to number 6 on the list. Let's go to the Chesterton Cotton Trojans. What do you think of them?
Chesterton, they were a very solid team a year ago. They played Maryville very tight in the last game of the season. They had a couple of bad losses. Valpo was a pretty bad loss. They cost us our cheesehead lock that week.
We're so sure. This is always a sure thing. This is a sure bet. The cheesehead.
I know. But they returned 11 stars, including their quarterback John Watson, who's going to lead that flex bone triple option attack. I think Chesterton's going to be a solid football team.
The only thing that makes me nervous about Chesterton, they lose Mr. Frank on the middle linebacker.
Frank Rodri, yes.
I think their defense is going to struggle a little bit. That's one thing I'm concerned with, the cheeseheads. All right, let's move down the list. Let's go to number 5. This team may have the best defense. Munster Mustangs.
Munster Mustangs, yeah, absolutely. Munster was a 7-3 team a year ago. The two games lost in the regular season were by 1 point. they had a stud receiver in Jay Gill, but he's not there anymore.
He's gone. He's not there anymore.
I think the big disappointment was, their loss to Lake Central in the first round of sectionals.
I think that's an embarrassing loss. I think this might show the big difference between the DAC and the MCC, the skill difference right there.
I'm not going to give them a lot of excuses, but obviously the conditions were bad and
That's true.
That game. But
it was pretty rainy, just like.
But still, you know what? They should have found a way to win that game. But
good teams win football games.
That's for another day. I still think Munster's will be a solid team. They'll be a player in the NCC. They're going to contend.
I agree with you. Here, number 4 comes the team you're pretty fond of. Morton Governors.
Morton Governors. This is a team. Over the last 3 or 4 years, this team has just been sky high. They've been kind of, climbing the ladder. They've been climbing the ladder. First it was Hobart, then it was Griffith, and I think they've reached the top of the summit. And now you've got Griffith, reaching back, trying to regain that top spot. But Morton, last season, the only 2 losses of the season were to Lowell. Every other game, they look dominant, they look good. Morton returns Andrew Glidewell and Kalen Aaron offensively. Darius Taylor, he's going to be one of the best defensive players in the area. So.
Yeah. All right. Let's go number 3. Let's go to our Portage Indians.
Portage Indians.
They are sporting the Antoine Brown jerseys like always.
Yeah.
Pretty high on this team here. We saw them play in the scrimmage. That offense looked very, very impressive.
Now you had some choice words for our last video.
Okay, I guarantee I was gonna go book the Embassy Suites here when I got home, but we kind of looked up Jefferson's record wasn't too impressive. So, but nevertheless, they did beat up on them in the scrimmage game and everything, and they beat up on the 3A state champs from last year in West Side. So we still got to come away feeling really impressive about this team. And okay, I said no team's gonna be able to stop them in state. I'll take that back. No team in the DAC is gonna stop them, including you, Maryville.
Ooh, calling out the Pirates. You're calling them out. Yeah, they're gonna be an impressive team. I think they bring a unique style offense that no team in the DAC has seen. So that's gonna catch some teams off guard, and it might take some adjusting. But overall, yeah, they're going to be a solid team because they have so many great skilled players. The question is, how good are they going to be in short yardage situations?
Exactly. It makes me very nervous. We're talking about Maryville, and that's what comes in number 2 on the list.
Well, that might be a team that has something to say about Portage's chances of a DAC championship. And obviously, Maryville's made 7 straight sectional championship appearances. It's no fluke.
And just like Maryville, you see a lot of college teams, high school teams. They sit there, they rebuild. No, but this team's like a powerhouse. They reload with all the skill talent there. It's going to be a team to reckon with, again.
They only have 7 starters returning, but they do return their starting quarterback.
And stud running back.
Denzel Pierce and Popovich.
And Matt Neal, defensive tackle.
Absolutely. So they're going to be there. We didn't have them very high on our list last year at preseason, but they're not going anywhere. Maryville's going to be a player, and I think the Week 4 game, Maryville and Portage, that might decide the DAC right there. Those are the 2 top teams definitely in that conference. But we do have a...
Let's go to number 1. No surprise here, going down to good old Lowell Red Devils. Why the number 1? Defense wins championships. And this team has the best 3 linebackers there are out there.
Absolutely. Of course, they're led by their senior stud, Jordan Juarez. He's going to have a good year on both sides of the ball, and he's probably going to be a candidate for the Defensive Player of the Year. But Lowell's been a team they've won 7 straight sectionals. They've made at least semi-state the last 3 years. They've had 3 state championship appearances in the last 5 years. It's not a fluke. They lose their head coach and their stud running back Brandon Groovy.
So what are they going to do to replace Groovy?
Well, it's probably going to be a running back like him. There's no one guy that they're going to get that's going to give you the production that he gave you, but they're going to probably look, Juarez, Cole Midget. They might have 1 or 2 other guys step in there. They have a new head coach, Keith Kilmer, but they're not really going to change anything.
You related to Bud Kilmer?
I don't know. I guess we'll have to ask him.
Guess we will.
That is our top 10 list. I hope you like it.
It's the only top 10 that matters.